All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets, the posts, whatever you want to call it. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm back here for episode 196 of the platform. Glad to be back here with y'all. Glad to, share the content. Just our workflow is a little bit different in the summer, man, so we feeling good. If you're brand new to the channel, though, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with what we got going on. If you want to join the conversation, leave a comment below, and if you know anybody that is interested in what we're talking about, hit that share button, man, and send them that link. All right, so we got a really good episode today. We got a really good episode. We're gonna talk about give a review for that new Tyler Perry movie, Straw. So we got that on the docket. We got what else we got? We got Carter 6. We're gonna talk a little bit about Carter 6 that just dropped. We're gonna give you a little bit of an update of the NBA Finals. All right, so where we stand last time we saw each other, and then where we're at right now, and where we're heading in the future. Maybe we'll touch on the Shy, and then there was a Twitter beef, an X beef. Maybe, you know what I mean, between two allies that well, maybe their relationship is kind of soured, right? And I'll keep that a secret for now, but you could probably guess who I'm talking about, because like who recently just had a big Twitter beef, right? So we'll keep that a secret, because I be feeling like when I say certain names, especially in the beginning of the episode, I think they be flagging my stuff, man. Like it's hard for me. I can't like run promotions on my stuff and all that. It gets in the way, but we good, man. Yo, good time of year, man. This is the time. It's the summertime. It's not quite summer yet, though. So you can still get your spring cleaning done. You know what I'm saying? I just swapped out all the winter clothes for the summer clothes. I got my drawers and closets right. You know what I'm saying? And this is that season where it might rain in the forecast, but then it'll be sunny. Just a couple hours later. So I love that. We about to start going to pools and the amusement parks, and I got these vacations lined up. This is also a time for 'cause I love basketball, so this is like that. It's that them blacktop leagues, summer leagues going on. And I actually was just at a tournament, and it was one of my homies that was in it, and his team started fighting with one of the players from the other team. And it's funny too, because my man's like 6'7", 6'6", right? You know what I mean? And it was only one other brother on his team. He was on a team full of white boys. And them white boys was punching on this Spanish dude, man. And it got a little bit, sticky a little bit. I was with my son, and it's crazy because I know some of them dudes, but like, the reaction sometimes when it be abroad, sometimes it's like to go towards it or to like either mediate or jump in. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say I was just gonna jump in it, but but I was with my son, and I just was like, just reminding him like, yo, don't get up. You know what I mean? Just because it wasn't on our sideline, it was on the other sideline. So I'm just like, yo, just stay here. And I was just hoping that, it just died down, because yeah, you got to move differently when you got your kid with you, man. So but yeah, man, other than that, anything new? Oh, I just learned boots on the ground. I know how to do that dance now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my teacher. Yeah, I mean, if y'all know her, man, Mo Thrifty MP, she got a line dancing class happening the first, second, and third Tuesday of every month, man. So, and actually it's getting kicked off this week, and then they gonna run it back a couple other weeks. And so yeah, hopefully I can get out to one of those classes a little bit. I think it's gonna be all women in there. You know what I mean? So I'll kind of be the eyeball, but it'll be all right. I'll be all right. But yeah, now I know the dance. So like, I'm ready for a trail ride. I'm ready to go to, something like that, and then and get down, man, because I know my steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, I know them steps now. You know what I mean? And it's funny because when you hit that crossover, and then you hit that front, that left, and you know what I mean, like yeah, that's when I be getting down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to learn a couple other line dances too, man, for real, because yeah, it's about to be a lit summer, man. So, uh, other than that, this was not on our docket, but we will. But the BET Awards happened this past week, and um, I did not see it. I did not see it, so I don't want to talk too much about it. You know what I mean, I'm not gonna criticize it or anything like that. But it's a lot of people who you expected to win won awards. So as you can imagine, Kendrick Lamar swept the awards with a lot of the big male categories. So and I have the list of the winners here. He won best male hip hop artist. He won Video Director of the Year, him and Dave Free. He won Album of the Year, and he won Best Collaboration for Luther with SZA. Best Female R&B and Pop Artist is SZA. Best Male R&B Pop Artist is Chris Brown. Best group, they made Future and Metro Boomin a group, I guess. I mean, best female hip hop artist. I think we can expect who it is too. Dochi, because she took over. Yeah, video of the year too. Yeah, video of the year was Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. I mean, iconic video for real. Uh, a surprise maybe. And I actually seen my homegirl Go Chain Diva, who Sister Talk podcast. She actually brought this up, and she was talking about, because I don't listen to gospel music, so I'm, you know what I mean, but Glorilla ended up winning the gospel award for her song "Rain Down on Me," that featured Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin. And she expressed though that like she was kind of disappointed because apparently there's a lot of like really good artists, a lot of new faces, a lot of noise in the gospel genre, and she kind of feels it was kind of like the maybe for lack of a better word, the award was kind of stolen from some other artists and given to Glorilla, more so out of popularity. BET Awards, they do like best actress and best actors and stuff like that. I didn't Best movie, Luther, Never Too Much. I didn't know they made a biopic about Luther Vandross, so I gotta check that out. I think I seen it was on Apple TV, so that's probably why I didn't see it. And they even give like sports awards and stuff. We won't talk about that. But the award that actually excited about is Best New Artist. And who do you think that is? Best New Artist. It's Leon Thomas. So Leon Thomas, man, I seen him live. I seen him back in October when he opened up for Blast. And Blast is one of my favorite artists. And Leon Thomas, like that album Mutt is, I didn't really talk about that album, but that was at the end of 2024, and then beginning of this year. That's been my favorite. That's been one of my favorite albums, one of my go-tos. He actually just released a deluxe album, and the deluxe has the Mutt remix with Chris Brown, and then so that's dope. That's dope. But it has this new song that I like. It came out a couple weeks ago. The deluxe just came out, and once I heard that track, the R&B track, it's called "It's Not Fair." Like that. That's like one of my favorite songs right now. I haven't talked about music in a while, so we will be talking about music today with a little bit of the Carter Six. But yeah, man, I'm happy for him, bro. He's a child star actor turned into a singer. What I remember, because he's past my Nickelodeon era, so I don't remember him on Nickelodeon on whatever show he was on. But I do remember him being a secondary character on Insecure. He was like friends with benefits with Issa Rae. It was a couple episodes. If you remember the one dude that lived in her apartment complex that she was messing with, that's Leon Thomas. And yeah, man, I seen him, and bro, like he's on tour. I believe he's on tour, and like he's been really pumping this album, and he's finally getting that push. So I'm glad that he earned that best new artist. Like Mutt took a while to like really get going because I was listening to that for months before like hit the radio, and then now it's like that's all you hear, and everybody playing that song. You know what I'm saying? But he got a lot of other tracks on that album that are really good, man. Definitely a soulful, uh, unique type of sound, though. Yeah, I mean, unique type of sound. But he got good melodies and good hooks and stuff like that. So that boy could sing, man. So I'm happy for him. Um, Other than that, let's move on, man. Let's get into the nitty gritty of the show, and I'm just pulling up my review here. So we're gonna start with a movie review today. Instead of getting into other stuff, we don't have any videos to share, so this should be pretty straightforward. Every time I say that, oh, we're gonna make this quick, it's never that quick. So I end up rattling off for an hour and a half. So the episode is gonna be what it is, man. However long it is, if it's shorter than normal, if it's longer than normal, it is what it is. We just gonna rock out. So everybody's been talking about if you've been living under a rock, right? So that might be the name of something. I got a segment, but if you've been living under a rock, man, Tyler Perry just dropped a new movie on Netflix called Straw, starring Taraji P Henson. Now y'all know already. I'm not the biggest Tyler Perry supporter. Now I respect his craft. I respect his hustle. I respect his hustle. I respect his grind. Um to me, it'd be like one out of every like five projects be a hit. You know what I mean? But it says something because he pumps out so much content that like one out of like he might have how many movies does he have? He has tons of movies. So like the fact that he can pump out maybe it's one out of every four, one out of every three projects, I think is good. We can get Medea is not my twist, but when he does um feature length movies and he has good stars in it, he don't play around, man. Um but yeah, but yeah, it was a really good movie. There has been some mixed reviews of it. Some people was mad, people was talking crazy about the movie, and people were kind of using some of the talking points that I've used in the past, and just like oh my god, like Tyler Perry, he doing it again. Like why he doing this? But this movie was not this. I don't think this movie deserves some of those criticisms. Like what was that movie like Wedding in the Black or something like that? Marriage in the Black, the one with Corey Hardrick and Megan Good, like that was not a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it was cheesy, it was whatever, but like this was not cheesy. Like it was crazy. There was a lot of crazy moments that happened, but it's this wasn't not it's not the same. And I feel bad for you if you started watching this movie, thought it was ridiculous and cut it off. I feel bad for you because the ending is what kind of brings it all together. And I thought it was good prior to the ending, but the ending made it even better. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through the movie. We're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on in it. There will be spoil. There is a spoiler alert in here. So if you have not seen Straw, you might want to pause this and go watch that real quick. But yeah, it was definitely worth seeing. But for the sake of this movie, it's not one of those that's gonna have a sequel. It's just a one time movie. It was really good. It was really good. It kept my attention. It was very entertaining. So when I started watching this, right, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, all right, man, let's do over and under. How many cringy lines are we gonna have? So I set it at like five. So I think like five or less. I mean, five or less. And then who I was watching with, they was like, oh, they took the over. They was like, no, it's gonna have like a bunch of cringy lines. So I'm ready to watch it like I'm ready to analyze it. Like that's how I was coming with it. I was ready to analyze it. And then soon I got captivated and there wasn't no critique. So there were no cringy lines. The dialogue was on point. He didn't do that thing where he'll try to like incorporate like a trendy social media phrase or anything like that. He didn't have the character saying anything crazy, right? This film reminded me that Tyler Perry does know how to make a good movie. He does know how to make a good movie. And one thing I noticed is that when Tyler Perry has A-list actors, because Taraji P. Henson is an A-list actor. He is an A-list actress. But when he has A-listers and higher level actors in his films, he doesn't play by the same tactics. Like he don't do some of the random things that he pulls in some of these other, for lack of a better phrase, lower budget films, right? Um, but Taraji was great, man. Taraji is great. I don't think she's been a typecasted actress, but Taraji has a lot of range. I think she does have a lot of range. We have seen her in that emotional state, but this, I think she really brought this to life. Um, but yeah, the movie is outrageous. It's supposed to be though. It's supposed to be outrageous. And I'm not gonna lie, this movie, the when it progressed, it felt like a horror movie. Like it felt like a modern day horror movie. Like, yo, is this what this is about? Like, is this it? Like, I thought it was like gonna be something crazy. Like, the random name called Straw, but I understood it was like, oh, it's the last straw, or the straw that broke the camel's back, stuff like that. So, quick premise. Um, Straw is about a single mother who, yeah, because again, we'll save the twist for the end. Yeah, I mean, we'll save that. We'll spoil that later on. But it's about a mother who is basically having, just she's a single mother, and she has no resources, no help with anything, and she's living below the poverty line. She's struggling to feed her child, struggling to get her child to school on time, but then without those resources and her doing everything by herself, it stretches her thin, and she's literally in the middle of the worst day of her life. She's literally in the middle of the worst day of her life, and it ends up turning, like, one thing just adds to another. It's like one calamity after the other, and she's basically in a bank holdup. She ends up holding up a bank, and then things ensue, right? Things ensue. So what we find out is that, and this is what I like about the movie. I like that they saved the plot twist to the very end, right? They saved the plot twist to the very end of the movie. So, like, you're buying into it. You know that she's possibly gonna get killed, or at the very least she's gonna get arrested. And what happens is, so she's talking about her daughter because, like, in her mind, them people took her daughter. Children, youth took her daughter, and she's on the phone with her. Somehow she gets on the phone with her mother. Right, she gets on the phone with her mother, and she's talking, and then the mother says, "Babe, like, what do you like?" And she says her daughter's name. I forget the daughter's name, but she says she died last night. And then I was confused because I was like, "What do you mean she died last night? Like, what time?" Because I have a thing with movies and film and TV shows, how they be playing with time, they be messing up time, and so I'm like, "What are you talking about? She died last night? Like, what day is it?" You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you learn that, oh, okay, now everything, the straw is not about like her snapping when she shot the her boss, but the straw was her daughter died. So yes, her daughter did get hurt. Her daughter hit her head. Her daughter has seizures. Her daughter hit her head. She ended up going to the hospital. Her daughter died. Right. So then they do a montage where they're playing back everything like that happened, and she was in the middle of a psychotic break. So when she wakes up in the morning and waking up next to her daughter was not even there. Her daughter had already died. So all those different events. So, like, her daughter never said that, "Hey mom, I don't got the lunch money." She drops her daughter off to school, even though nobody got out the car. So they show that scene. They show her coming back to the school in a panic and saying, like, "Oh, like, what's going on?" And the principal was like, "We never called you." um so then there's a couple of things that could have been avoided, like if you know she wouldn't have been late to work. She wouldn't have had to leave work again. Like, she could have still had her job. She wouldn't have got fired. She wouldn't have had that run in with the police officers. There was a bunch of crazy things that were happening that didn't have to happen, and we don't know that because she's in the middle of a psychotic break, right? And I thought it was good and then it pretty much after that it ended. But a couple of things that I do have issue with was, um the bank manager, Sherry Shepherd. She said to her, like, that she knew that her daughter died because somebody told her. But, like, when they did that montage, they never show. they never show that like anybody telling Sherry Shepherd. And it appears that nobody knew other than Sherry Shepherd's character. Nobody and the police aren't talking about it, which they could have been talking about it, but I guess they're trying to, film wise, we're trying to protect the plot here. Nobody mentions that her daughter is dead. Like nobody mentions it. She even has a friend that she works with that tried to give her money, and she's like, "No, I can't take your money." And that might have been a clue where she's like, "I can't take your money," because she's like, her daughter's already dead. But like, she's like, "No, I know you need it for your daughter, for her medicine, yada yada yada." Right? Um, and yeah, so it was wild. I thought the one gimmicky part, definitely, like there was a couple gimmicky parts once they get to the bank. So it was the one teller putting it on Instagram Live, like, and then setting up the camera so like people could see what was going on. And I predicted, I said, watch, this is gonna lead to like some type of like social justice, and people are gonna like stand up for her. But like, yeah, this is her telling her, this is her first time she getting to tell her story. Even the landlord felt guilty because she's watching and she's like looking like, dang, like I really kicked this lady out of her house. Um, but yeah, like nobody knew what she was actually going through. Nobody knew what she was going through. So um I thought it was good. I thought it was good. This lady though, man, it just goes to show like I think this movie was about a lot of different things. It was about how, when you're not in your right mind, some of the things that you think are important, or some of the things that you think are real, are not what they seem to be, and that you're capable of anything. But also just speaks to this fact of like, when people lack support in general, particularly women, when women lack support, man, like they like, you seen her, she had to do everything, like she had no support at all. Like after her daughter dies, she shouldn't have been home alone by herself. Like maybe she's not home alone by herself. She doesn't even go to work, or she doesn't, all those different events don't even ensue, right? I think everything prior to her shooting her boss is almost justified. Like everything, everything that where you're thinking, like you're watching a movie and you're thinking like, oh my God, all this bad stuff can't happen. Well, it actually, none of that bad stuff did happen. The only bad thing that happened, and I'm talking about prior to her shooting her boss, the road rage incident happened. But like she, what I mean, like it was a lot of things that just didn't have to happen if she would have had a little bit of support. Like nobody was there to help her grieve and mourn the day after. Nobody was there to give her kid lunch money. Nobody was there to help her with her rent. No, I mean, and we see no semblance of a father. Like we don't have it. There's no evidence that there's a dad. So it's just all bad, man. It's all bad. But again, very entertaining, very good movie. And again, I think that plot twist, the fact that she's going through something, it justifies most of the crazy things that happen. Like I said, out, because yeah, she didn't even do anything when the road rage. That was the cop being crazy, and angry at her, but she didn't really do anything crazy. It was when she shot her boss, and he didn't want to give her her money. He was that last, barrier between her having some resources, and he didn't want to cash her check. And that's when she started wilding. Like I think that was the worst thing that she could have done. But everything prior to that, even her leaving, it's like, yeah, she left again because she's going through a psychotic break, man. So, overall, I would say it's a good movie. It is something that you should see. If I had to rate it, I say it's like an 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. It's not the best movie, you know what I'm saying? But it is definitely something worth watching. And it is, again, you don't want to watch this, but like, encourage people, man. If you have seen the movie and you're watching me talk about this, encourage people to make sure they watch it to the end, and everything's gonna make sense. All right. So it's one of those movies. So, but yeah, I'll say 7 out of 10, 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10 at the highest. But it was a solid movie. Not just for Tyler Perry standards, but like for everybody's standards. It was good. It was something that, like I said, kept my attention. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Let's move on though. Let's move on. Let's move on to music. And yeah, so Carter 6 drops, man. The Carter 6 dropped. And man, I heard like it dropped and I didn't listen to it right away. But then I was like, I had a couple long car rides and I said, let me put it on. Let me put on Carter Six, right? And I was like, let me just check it out. And at first, when I'm listening to the album, and I'm about to go through the album real quick. Okay. Now I'm gonna say I only listened to it one time, but like sadly, a lot of the people's critiques of this album I felt the same way. And I didn't see a lot of critiques. Like I didn't see a lot of critiques, but the few that I saw, yeah, I understand what people were saying. And so yeah, it starts off solid. And the first track, King Carter, I feel like Lil Wayne missed an opportunity because that was a good the beat was it was a good build up. And I was waiting for a beat to drop. King Carter is 1 minute and 48 seconds, and it's not even an intro. It's just like King Carter. And then you're thinking like, yo, the beat's gonna drop and he about to kill this intro, and then he never raps on it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, that was a letdown there. And then Welcome to the Carter. It just, it was what it was. It was all right. It was all right. So I'm rolling with it. I'm like, okay, okay. And then Bells, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. A little homage to LL Cool J, Rock the Bells. But then like the hook was a little bit, it was forced. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to it. I'm like, it's not really hitting. Then hip hop comes on. So hip hop had Big X the plug. I like Big X the plug. So Big X did his thing. You know, he kind of washed Lil Wayne a little bit on that track. You know what I'm saying? Some other guy on there named Jay Jones. I don't know who that is. And then Sharks comes on. And then Sharks, I'm like, okay, I don't even, I know I've heard of Jelly Roll. I've seen what he looks like, but I never listened to his music. And that one, that's a decent track, whatever. But then Big Sean is featured on that. And Big Sean leaves Earth on that track. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely was a standout. Um, and then yeah, it felt like so one of the first things I heard somebody say, and this is a guy I trust when it comes to rap, it was my man Theotis Dakotas. And he was like, "Oh, y'all mad that because he was one of the positive people. He was like, "Oh, y'all mad that that mixtape Wayne dropped the album." You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that was the vibe. So like, cause yeah, there's a lot of tracks on here where it's a lot of beat flips. It's a lot of homage to other people. It's a lot of experimentation. There's a lot of like different features that you wouldn't normally kind of see from Lil Wayne. So like, you know what I mean? So I'm rolling with it a little bit, but then as I'm listening to the tracks, I'm not nothing is grabbing my attention for real, for real. Other than the song Sharks, there's not a lot of substance. And so I'm gonna just go through the cons first and then we'll go through some pros. But I don't think I realized and it came to it the realization became stronger as I'm listening. I don't think I realized like how much Lil Wayne doesn't say much when he's rapping, like, and that's always been a criticism of his. Like sometimes like he just be rapping like he it might sound cool, but he just be rapping, and but there was a lot of bars that just felt very elementary. Like he talking about Taco Bell, he talking about like it was a lot of like it was a lot of bars in there that was like kind of like cringy, man. It just wasn't the best. The beat selection was not the greatest. You know what I'm saying? There weren't any standout beats on there that made me think like, oh, okay, like oh he about to smoke this. He about to smoke this. Um, and the production was not good. So one indicator for me to know if the production is good or not, it has to do, it's a simple thing. It has to do with volume. So I noticed that when production is bad on a project, and typically local artists, they don't have the same quality of production. Like not saying that the person that did their stuff is bad. It's just they don't have the money to all for all that remastering and all that a lot of times. But that's an indicator. So when I got it, and most people, I don't know even know anybody talking about like having a system in their car no more. Like I don't never hear nobody talk about that because a lot of these newer cars, the factory systems are good enough. You know what I mean? And what I noticed is that when the production is bad, I got to turn it almost the whole way up just for it to sound kind of clear. But if the production is good, I don't have to have it that loud, and it's the clarity is there, the volume is there. It's just it's full of sound. And this album was lacking that, and I was like, "Yo, this production is bad." Like that's the easiest way for me to indicate when the production's bad is like when it ain't loud enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean like blaring out, but it's like I shouldn't have to like my car goes to like 65. I shouldn't have to have it in the 50s for it to sound decent. Anything else I'm listening to, it'd be like half volume and it'd be bumping. You know what I'm saying? So and if I turn it all the way up, it's like going crazy. You know what I mean? So that's how I knew things weren't too good. And then I would just say that like the collabs, um, I would just say that some of these collabs, I wish they would have happened a generation ago. You know what I'm saying? Like years ago, a decade ago. Like he had a collab with like Wyclef Jean. And I was like, damn, like it would have been dope if he would have did a song with Wyclef back in the day. Even doing a song with like Bono, it's like when U2 was like when they had their resurgence in the 2000s, like that's when you was supposed to have Bono on a track, you know what I'm saying? But like yeah, so it just doesn't hold up for me. Pros, I think it's still dope that Lil Wayne can still put that he's still putting out music. Um, and he still wants to make music. Um, I'll give him some props for his attempts at some experimentation. I think he could have switched up his flow though a little bit on a lot of these tracks. And then I guess I give him props to the variety of the features because these features were a little bit all over the place, and that was dope. But it just didn't make for great music. So I'll try. I'm gonna try to listen to it again. Try to pick out some gems, but like it's hard. It's hard to get through the album. It's hard to get through the album. But like the beginning of it don't sound that bad. Like Sharks is like fifth or sixth track on the album, and it sounds good. And that was definitely the standout track for me, Sharks. And Big Sean got the best verse on the whole album. And that's when I listen to that, I'm like, this is the Sean I need. I need that Sean to show up every time, bro. I need that Sean to show up every time. But yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, man. It was a little bit whack, but what can you do? What can you do? But what you think about Lil Wayne's album, man? Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about his album. Is it time for Wayne to hang it up? You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of people talking like that. Is it time for Wayne to hang it up? Or does he just need to tap into a different type of like vibe? You know what I mean? I was expecting some like mature bars and substance, and we ain't really get that, man. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's move on. Let's move on. So let's talk about the NBA Finals. Okay, yeah, NBA Finals. And yeah, man. So last time we met, the NBA Finals did not even start yet. So I was giving my predictions. I predicted that the Thunder will win in six. I still feel good about that prediction. However, after game one, I was shook. So game one happened last week, Wednesday, right? It was like what, June something, June 3rd, June 4th. And so I'm ready. I'm ready for it, whatever. And I couldn't even watch the game because, like, for whatever reason, man, and this is my critique with the NBA. I said it before with my man from the Amazing Pod, and I was basically saying how like, yo, the NBA, how my man Howard from the Amazing Pod, the NBA does not care about gaining new fans. It does not care about its fan base. It only cares about making money and squeezing every little penny out of any customer that they can. But like the NBA and just any sports championship, like any national sports championship, it should be free for people to watch. There should be no barriers to access because unlike the NFL has like stronger like fan loyalty. I would say that's my opinion. Than the NBA, but like new fan bases in the NBA are formed every NBA finals. New fan bases are formed because people see a team and they'll be like, yeah, I mean, they'll jump on the bandwagon and have no shame because yeah, team loyalty just ain't the same in the NBA ranks because even the players don't have no loyalty to the team. So it's like, all right. But Yeah, I just felt like, so if you don't have ESPN and if you cut the cord, because most people they cut the cord, they don't have local channels either. So they have local channels, so you can't watch the finals. You know what I'm saying, on ABC or ESPN. Like, but like, why wasn't it on YouTube, like regular YouTube? Why wasn't it on Tubi? The Super Bowl was on Tubi. Why wasn't it on? Yeah, I think I watched the Super Bowl on Tubi this past year. So why was it on Tubi? Why wasn't it on Prime? Like, why don't you expand? You had playoff games playing on Max. I know this wasn't a TNT event, whatever, but like you utilize Max early on in playoffs. Like, why not open it up so like everybody could see it? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they said the ratings were down, and people are gonna blame the ratings on the teams. It's not the teams. It's literally the access, and that's why I've been complaining about access to the NBA for a long time now. Yeah, you can pull up a bootleg stream or something like that, but it's like I just want to turn on my TV and like be able to find it, without going through all these hoops. But the NBA don't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, after game one, I was scared, and I thought this might be a sign to come um because in game one of the Eastern Conference playoffs, right? Even Eastern Conference finals, the Pacers made that comeback, and then Halliburton hit that game winner, and that literally demoralized the Knicks. Like, I think I said this in the last episode. That game one is gonna haunt them, man. That game one got their coach fired, you know, and it. I thought that's wow. That's kind of how just the same effect. Um, that's how the Knicks lost game one in the last round. So OKC giving up a 14-point lead and losing in at the end to Halliburton. I was just like, wow, like, uh-oh, this is gonna be a sign to come. So I was getting a little bit nervous about my prediction. But then Sunday, game two, OKC, they did what they did in the first game, which was build a lead, you know what I'm saying? But they kept their foot on the gas pedal, you know what I'm saying? And they got the Pacers out of here. And now I'm feeling confident again because I'm not gonna change my pick. I feel confident again about Thunder's in six, right? And now the pressure is on Indiana, right? The pressure on Indiana. So one thing that we see is that Indiana has not been able to like build a lead on OKC. OKC can stop them. They're good at getting stops, and they're good at running up a lead. But the thing is, though, the Pacers are dangerous. The Pacers play 48 minutes, and that's all shout out to the players that they have on the staff, but also that's Rick Carlisle, man. Rick Carlisle got them boys playing 36 minutes. I remember seeing final series where like, a team will start getting blown out, and then like they'll just kind of chalk it up. They'll be like, all right, man, we just live for another day. No, the Pacers was fighting to the very end. Substitutions didn't go into the game until like the last 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes of the game. Like, the subs were not in a long time. So like, that's the only thing. That's the Pacers' saving grace, is that they don't give up. So as long as OKC doesn't let up on them, and they keep the pressure on, and they stay aggressive in these games, it's definitely gonna go. It's definitely gonna be OKC series. It could end earlier than six, but I say 6 games. I say OKC wins game three, and then I think the Pacers tied in game four, and then which would set it up for OKC to win 2 games back to back, one at home and then one in Indiana. But I think game three I think the pressure is on Indiana, and I think they are going to fold a little bit. I think OKC. I think that first round, that first game, the stage is big. I don't think they realized like what they was dealing with, but now they see like, yo, no, we gotta keep our foot on their neck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I know that's actually a bad reference nowadays, but we gotta keep their foot on them. You know what I mean? And we can't let up. And so yeah, I got OKC winning game three, but they might lose game four, setting them up to win game six in Indiana. All right. So that's that on that. What do you think? What do you think about the NBA playoffs so far? NBA finals? Who you think is gonna win? I mean, Shea though is showing. One thing about Shea, and one thing about basketball, is that There's all this talk about analytics, and that basically saying like the mid range shot is dead. Like, it's no point to shoot mid range shots. No point. No point. No point. listen to that advice if you want to. If you want to be a prolific scorer in this league, if you want to and if you want to be a dominant scorer in this league, you have to have a mid-range game. So they showed the shot chart of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in the Western Conference Finals. So again, they only played 5 games, but he only made 7 3-pointers in that series. And so off the rip, you think, oh man, he must have bad games. No, no, he was filling up the stat sheet with mid-range shots. Like majority of his points came from the mid-range. A lot of came from the foul line too, but it came from the mid-range. And yeah, he would go to the line when he was attacking. Like he would attack too, but like in terms of made shots, made field goals, those was all mid range. He was shooting their eyes out. So like if you want to be a real scorer in the league, you have to do, and this for young people, for people that's current. You got to develop that mid range game, man, because that's where the real scorers feast at. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like a forgotten area. Like if you can get to your spot, bro, it's a high percentage shot, man. Knock it down every time, man. So that's that on that. Let's see. The Shy where we're at right now. There was a Mother's Day episode, and it was a sweet episode. I thought it was good. I just think where we're at, because I'm not gonna give a full thing on the Shy, but like just to kind of touch on it, I think Nuck is gonna bag Tiffany, man. Like he keeps getting a little bit too close to her. She's being very vulnerable and very, she looks like she could be susceptible to his game. It is a conflict of interest because for many reasons. The first reason we'll say is because that is Keisha's baby dad, and Keisha's supposed to be her friend. And she might justify if she messes with him, she'll justify it, and she'll be like, "Well, you mess with my baby dad, whatever." I can predict that that's coming. That's coming. She's gonna mess with Nuck. They're gonna find out, and they're gonna be like, "But you got a whole kid to my baby dad, right?" Right. But obviously, the other conflict of interest, which is the dramatic irony, is the fact that this man killed your current baby dad, like your kid that's gonna be fatherless, your fatherless child. He killed him. Like he got him out of here. So it's like, and I feel like Nuck is he's doing too much. He's doing too much, and I think that's what's gonna happen. The only other plot line that's frustrating to me is Papa. Man, Papa is just too smart, too intelligent to be so dumb and naive. Man, like he just trusts. He never developed that that discernment. You know what I mean? And he never learned how to discern character. And the thing is, he had a father in his life. Yeah, his father passed away, but maybe I think probably him being sheltered and he's coming from the house of God, so to speak. He's a PK, he's a preacher kid. He's not used to seeing like bad people too much, or like his dad is not allowing him to be around too many bad people, so he don't have to discern between good and bad. He just thinks that everybody is inherently good, and he looks up to this pastor, not knowing that this pastor don't even really got money. But like what does he do? His mom already says she don't trust him. His mom says she don't trust the dude, so she don't want no help from him. And what does Papa do? Papa gets a loan from this guy. And then basically the guy, they're basically strong arming him for his dad's church. So we'll see how that plays out in the next episode. But like, it just made me mad. Like and Papa was just happy that he saw all this money. He's like, oh, I'm doing something. I'm doing the right thing, man. I'm helping out my mom. Lo and behold, it's like, bro, you just sold your dad's church, man. Like this guy's about to extort you for your dad's property, man, and it's not good, man. So we'll see how that plays out. But like I said, things are heating up, man. Things are heating up. And then last but not least, last topic, last thing. So I said, man, y'all seen that there was a little argument, little feud on social media. You know what I'm saying? And it was between number 47, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk. And is there a relationship? Is there bond? Is it broken forever? You know what I mean? I'm gonna give Levi credit. Levi said that he predicted that this will end. This partnership was gonna end, and it's probably gonna end badly. I'll give him that credit. I don't know how I felt about it. I don't know if I felt it was gonna last or not, but at the moment, it doesn't look too good. So all this started because Elon Musk, he criticized the big beautiful bill. And he wasn't criticizing Donald Trump, more so he was criticizing Congress because they passed it, right? They passed it. The House passed it, and he's criticizing the politicians, and he's saying how like there's a lot of stuff in there that doesn't belong in there. There's a lot of bad, it's a lot of spending. He points out that it spends more money and kind of undermines the cuts that they made with Doge, and so he's frustrated. So then Donald Trump, instead of having a conversation with this man, maybe to like say like, yo, you gotta chill, he goes after him on Twitter. So then Donald Trump he tries to embarrass Elon and basically is like talking about it like, man, he's salty because we got rid of this EV, this electric vehicle mandate, and he's salty even though he knew about it. He's sick, right? So that's why he throwing a temper tantrum. So then it's like, so Elon's like, what? He's like, I'm throwing a temper tantrum. How dare you? How dare you talk about me, Donald? You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be in the White House. We wouldn't have control of the Senate, and then you would have lost the House of Representatives. So like, watch who you talking to. I mean, that was the energy that Elon was giving. And I'm like, oh snap, like Elon talking crazy like that. Like he basically he letting everybody know. He's letting everybody know things that we already knew. We all know that Donald Trump probably wouldn't have won the election without Elon Musk. He wouldn't have won it by the landslide that he won by. You know what I mean? Had Elon Musk not been in his corner. And then and then Trump fires back and says, "Well, you know what? The biggest way for us to save money, because he want to talk about spending. Well, the biggest way for us to save money is if we just eliminate all of Elon Musk's contracts." And again, both of these guys are saying stuff that we all know and believe because we're all like, well, yeah, like I mean, because yeah, a lot of that stuff is in the defense budget, but yeah, if we wasn't subsidizing this guy's influence and power, you know what I'm saying? Like yes, we probably could save a lot of money, whatever. So then after that, like, because Elon is a toddler, man. Elon's a toddler, so he ain't give up. So after that, Elon just emptied the chamber, man, and he said he was gonna decommission like some type of spacecraft, even though he realized that he wasn't allowed to do that. So he backtracked on that. But then he just before he leaves the conversation, he says, "Oh, by the way, Trump is in the Epstein files," and then he dips off. You know what I mean? And again, that's another thing that we already know. Like we know that those things haven't come out because he's possibly in those files. And part of me is thinking like, man, this is good. But I don't want to speak too highly of it because I feel like they are gonna probably I can see them reconciling and just like kind of doing what's best for the party, like because that's how those people roll over there. So I could see them kind of making amends, but like, man, it was kind of crazy that we actually seen it, in public and seen them actually go at it like that. But again, most of these both of these guys are saying all the things that we know and believe, and their supporters are just like looking at them like wanting them to stop fighting, like their kids or like their teenagers, and they're just like, guys, stop. You guys need to stop. You guys need to just talk this out. Like everybody's trying to mediate, and these are two very strong personalities, and I don't know if it's gonna end well, man. I don't know how it's gonna end. Um, but we'll see, man. But we'll see. I do see them kind of reconciling and just kind of making it work. I've seen a lot of people though. They were thinking that they think it's fake. They think it's fake. They think it's there. It's some type of distraction. Like this is all a ploy. Like they're not even enemies. They're not like they're pulling punch. Like they're throwing stuff out there. Now, granted, there wasn't any crazy bombs that were dropped. There weren't any crazy bomb. Like even saying that Trump is in the Epstein files, that's not a crazy bomb because we already kind of knew. And everything I said, oh, we already knew this. We already knew this. So it's like there weren't no bombs, but it was just the audacity of them coming at each other the way they were. It was like, yo, y'all for real? Y'all really about to do this? So I don't know, man. I don't know where we stand. I don't know where it's going, but I do see a reconciliation in a short time. You know what I mean, but we'll see. We'll see. But what do you think, man? What do you think about this week's episode? Again, I don't even know how long we've been on. I did try to kind of get through it. We did take a little bit of time going through that movie. But yeah, man, we still rocking out, man. I do want to give I do want to give some more attention to the Shy. Probably in my next episode, we'll kind of dig into that a little bit. I just been putting out some of my recaps and review type of posts about the Shy, so we working through it. So, but yeah, man, I'm in a good mood. I'm happy, man. Episode 196. Summertime, man. This is where I thrive, man. This is my time to thrive, man. You see the throwback champion replica. This is not an authentic jersey. It's a replica Penny Hardaway, but that champion. This is champion was like they was making all the jerseys back in the day. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel good, babe. But if you're still watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, share the content to anybody you know. I'm happy to be with y'all for another episode, man. We'll be back next week. And this your boy Lowe's Def. This is episode 196 of the 280 Plus podcast, y'all. I'm out. Peace.